Preparing this show, reviewing the news of the year, I'm struck by how today's news often makes us forget what was big news just a few months before. Early this year, the big news was something no one's talking about now, the Greek financial crisis, and also the surge in popularity of socialist Bernie Sanders, who wants to turn America into Greece.
I, as president, will fight to make tuition in public colleges and universities free.
Free stuff. People like that.
Everybody likes free stuff. Nobody wants to pay for it. And when you have an entire society organized around the premise that we're all going to have our hands in each other's pockets, that in effect is the recipe that gave us Greece. And even though it's faded, the problem hasn't gone away. The demographics are there, the entitlement state is there, and the long-run prognosis is very, very grim because you're eating away at the social capital of a people, destroying their self-reliance and their independence.
The other big issue that sort of briefly has gone away but will come back is income inequality. It is true the rich have gotten much richer than the poor. It's true that there are disparities in wealth, and of course that if you look next door and you see that the other guy has a bigger car or a bigger house, you're going to feel bad about it. At the same time, I think there was actually just a Pew report that came out showing that the middle class was shrinking a little bit, and everyone panicked. But the upper class, the top quintile, is actually growing and has been growing over the last several decades more quickly. The middle class was moving into the upper class. The middle class was getting richer. Some were going down, right, but more were going up. Right. And some rich people were getting poor, by the way, which is something nobody talks about.
Well, listen, Americans want to be able to work and raise their families, and they don't want the boot of government on their neck.
The Democrats say government isn't a boot on your neck. It's a helping hand for the poor, hence the minimum wage.
Government has helped the people of Europe into stagnation. Italy has not had any growth in the 21st century, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. So ask yourself, do you want we're going to take care of each other, give each other free stuff society like Italy? Or do we want a society where the inequality you get is because some people get better off faster than others? It should be an easy choice.
One big economic story this year was environmental regulation on steroids. Some of the president's plans were squelched by courts or Congress, but others succeeded. He did delay and then kill this year the Keystone Pipeline, thereby destroying jobs and lots of money.
This company had a contract to build Keystone's pipes. Now they sit in this warehouse. The owner calls it a steel wasteland.
You know, you can see the dust that's collected over the years. There's probably $3 to $4 million sitting here.
Why any company would want to build in America when you wait 7 years and then get turned down? Sure. I don't know.
Well, it's unprecedented how this president has been able to kill an industry, and that's the coal industry. Remember, before he was first elected, he wanted electricity prices to skyrocket, and he wanted to bankrupt the coal industry, and he's met that objective.
We have a chart of how the stocks have gone down.
It's unbelievable, and the government has killed an industry.
So what? It's a filthy industry. We can get energy from natural gas.
Well, tell that to the coal miners, who this is all they know, this is all they do, who work hard and they're supporting their families, and they've been decimated, and it's heartbreaking to see them when they lose their job, because what else are they going to do in these communities? These communities are ghost towns.
At the same time, though, the administration is completely schizophrenic about, for instance, heavily subsidizing very carbon-intensive industries like the airline industry. So we have the Exim Bank, which has been a real controversy this year, and a great look, by the way, at...
And got restored.
It's cutting even just the smallest, most obviously corrupt crony capitalist institutions still basically didn't happen, and that's just giant chunks of money taken from the American taxpayer and dumped into the hands of Boeing.
When I asked those of you who follow me on social media what news story in 2015 should teach us something, Earl Hutchinson on Google Plus replied, the failure of Obamacare. So it hasn't totally failed, but now the leaks are showing.
I think this is great news. I mean, not great in the sense that people's health care plans are being ruined.
Insurance companies are going like bankrupt.
But it's great news in that Obama is teaching the entire country that big government doesn't work very well. So then the question is, now that we know it doesn't work very well, will we ever get some people in Washington who'll decide to roll it back a little bit? But at least
Do you think it teaches people this?
Yeah.
I think they'll
Your
just bail them out.
optimism is so charming. I wish that I shared it. This idea that, like, oh, this time
I'm going to get a pony under the Christmas tree, too.
Yeah, it is. I swear, the pony's coming. No, I mean, the idea that people would look at Obamacare after having witnessed what I think are similar failures of many other similar big government programs and say, oh, you know, this time I got it now.
We'll
Turns
tinker
out,
with it. We'll
doesn't
fix
work.
it. Oh, enough bad news. Coming up,